channel. Today I'm here with my husband Kevin and we are going to be doing the 2017 book survey. I saw Hannah do this with her husband and I thought it was a lot of fun, so we decided to also make this video together. There are 16 questions and they all pertain to, like, there's different categories for the books that you read in 2017 and stuff like that. So the first question is the best standalone that you read. For this I'm going with Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I love this book. This is actually the only standalone book that I read, and it is a reread. It is like my 5th reread, so obviously you can tell that I really love it. It's kind of like a spin-off of Harry Potter. It follows like the Harry Potter tropes, but it creates it's like its own story that grows from it.
My best standalone book for 2017, I also only read one standalone book, and that was Hunted by Megan Spooner, which was recommended to me by Gabby. It's essentially a kind of adaptation of Beauty and the Beast. From what I remember, she didn't like it as much. It was a little slow for her, but I really enjoyed the book. Thought it had a really cool twist and a good ending. So if you like things like that, it's a good read.
Yeah, it was actually one of my most anticipated reads for 2017, and I didn't get through it because it was a little slow. Yeah, I couldn't get into it. So question number 2 is your least favorite read.
So my least favorite read it's called Dragon Avenger by E.E. Knight. It's the second book in a series of 6, and I am currently stuck on this book because the first book, Dragon Champion, was really good. These books are told from this perspective of 3 dragon siblings, and book 2 is the sister, and I just can't get more than halfway through the book. So it's definitely on my least favorite, but eventually I want to get through it and get through all 6 books.
So my least favorite was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and a lot of people love this book. Like, this book has really high ratings, but it wasn't for me. Oh, this was also a standalone. So I read 2 standalones in 2017, but yeah, this book just wasn't for me. It was very beautifully written, very atmospheric, but the plot and the character development kind of lacked a little bit. I felt like there was really no structure to the magic. I think because it was so hyped, I was really disappointed, and it was my least favorite read in 2017.
Question number 3 is, what was your shortest read? I only listen to audiobooks. I don't actually read the hard copy. So my shortest listen in 2017 was a book called Perfect Shadow. It's by Brent Weeks, and it's essentially about it's on the synopsis. It's about an immortal assassin who is hired for a job, and I think I listened at 1.5 speed and got through it in about an hour and a half. So, very short. Good book.
So you don't know how many pages it was?
No.
But it's gotta be really short. The audiobook is like 2 hours.
Yeah, the total length was about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So definitely the shortest by far.
So my shortest read was Junie B. Jones and the Stupid Smelly Bus. This is a kid's book. I read it for I think it was the Booktubeathon, or it was one of the readathons that I did last year, and it was to read the shortest book on your bookshelf, and this is the shortest book on my bookshelf. There are 67 pages, and a lot of the pages have pictures, so even less than that because of all the pictures, but it's really cute. Junie B. Jones is just this quirky little girl, and she's starting kindergarten, and she just gets into a whole bunch of chaos, and it's really cute. So this was my favorite book series when I was in elementary school.
Question number 4. What was your longest read?
So my longest read was Winter by Marissa Meyer. This is the 4th book in the Lunar Chronicle series, and although it doesn't look like it, this has over 800 pages because the pages are just so thin. Feel how thin that is. So the pages are so thin that, let me see how many pages exactly. Okay, 827 pages. So this was my longest read for 2017.
So again, audiobooks, my longest listen was 41 hours and 31 minutes. That was book 6 in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. It's called Lord of Chaos. And just for reference, I do have book 10, and it is, I think, 30-hour audiobook, and it's 700 pages.
Yeah, 700 pages.
Yeah. So I assume that book 6 is somewhere around 900 pages,
Yeah,
probably. And it was a really good book. It took me a couple of checkouts from the library to get through.
So the next question is your most disappointing ending.
So my most disappointing ending was actually, I really enjoyed the book, and I actually was okay with the ending. I only didn't like it because there's not another book. So this is a 2-part series from Patricia Briggs. The second book is called Dragon Blood, and it's got a young hero, and he becomes, the leader of his people, and goes on, does a lot of fun stuff. But I was really looking forward to another book, and it really left it open for another book. But then I immediately went to find if there would be a sequel or a third, and there is not. So I was very, very
I hate when that
disappointed.
happens. It's like, just finish the book. I don't know, I hate when that happens. Like, the series ends on a cliffhanger.
We won't even bring up the inheritance cycle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Was it that disappointing? You just had to hit me?
Sorry. So mine was The Glass Bear by Lauren DiStefano, and this was our December pick for our book club, for Hannah and I's book club. And I really enjoyed the beginning, but the ending just kind of, it felt like so rushed, and it was just so damsel in distress. I really enjoyed the beginning, and this is the first book in a series, and I think I'll continue on, but yeah, the ending was a bit disappointing.
Question number 6 is, what book left you on a cliffhanger that broke you the most?
So for this one, I went with Gemina. This is the second book in the Illuminate Files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and actually, you should read or listen to these audiobooks. I hear they're really, really good. I think you'd really enjoy it. But it's sci-fi, and it's set in space. I think you'd really enjoy it, but the way this one ends, I'm not going to go into any detail because it's the second one, but it's not like frustrating ending, but it's like, it is such a cliffhanger that when you finish it, you want the next one, and I am so excited for Obsidio. But I think, you know what, I'm going to request these books for you. I hear that these are some of the best audiobooks. I haven't listened to them, but that's just what I hear.
So for my cliffhanger that broke me the most, so I went with Bones of the Dragon, which is by Margaret Weiss, maybe Weiss, I'm not sure. But I was really bummed out. I read the book, I really enjoyed it, as Vikings and dragons and some of my favorite things. And I got to the end of the book, and I went to check out the next book, and it is not yet available on audiobook. So I am just waiting for this book to come around. And until then, I am on a perpetual cliffhanger because I won't go buy the book and read it.
So question number 7 is your favorite new series that you started in 2017.
I'll start with this one. It's a very easy one for me. My friend recommended a series to me by Brandon Sanderson called the Stormlight Archive series, and I went ahead and started The Way of Kings, and I am super pumped, really enjoying the book. It's definitely my style. I love massive books that just take forever to listen to. It's my favorite thing. And I'm about halfway through it. I am also currently number 26 in line to recheck it out because it's...
You might as well just read it. So I went with the series by Carrie Maniscalco. The first one is Stalking Jack the Ripper, and the second one is Hunting Prince Dracula. I actually think you would like these too.
Yeah, those actually sound cool.
Yeah, so it's about our main character, Audrey Rose. This is set in Victorian London, and she is secretly apprenticing with her uncle in forensics, and then all these gruesome murders start happening in London, and then in Hunting Prince Dracula, it's set in Romania, and these are just so good. What I love is the sass and the wit, so if you really like characters that have great sass and wit and banter between the two, this is a really, really good series.
I do not have an answer for questions 8 or 9, but I will go ahead and ask them for you. So what was your favorite comic of the year? That's question 8.
So for this one, I'm going with Saga by Brian K. Vaughan, and I read, was it volume 7? It was either volume 6 or volume 7, whichever volume came out last. I think it was volume 7 that came out last year. But Saga, I think you'd really enjoy it. You've never read a graphic novel, but I think you'd enjoy Saga. It's basically a Romeo and Juliet retelling with aliens, and there's like a space war. It's very unique, definitely for a mature audience. So there's a lot of like graphic and nudity and violence and cursing, but it's really good. I really love the story. So the next question is your favorite comic art of the year, and for this I'm going with Chew by John Layman and Rob Guillory.
Oh yeah, Guillory.
Sorry, Guillory. I really liked the art style of this. I thought it was really unique. I liked how it had like sharp edges. It was very colorful as well. I really, really enjoyed the art. So the next question is your most bizarre read. For this, I went with Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, and this one is illustrated by Camille Rose Garcia. Wonderland is definitely a very unique and bizarre world, so I feel like this fits this answer very well, and I have the really interesting bizarre illustrated edition.
So my most bizarre read I went with World War Z by Max Brooks. It's very interesting telling about a world war with zombies from an interesting perspective, and there was interviews. It's a very neat read, but definitely bizarre in the sense that it was about like basically the post-war of a zombie apocalypse, essentially.
Next question is the best audiobook that you listened to. For this, I have to go with Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. We actually listened to the first 3 together, but I listened to the first 4 on audiobook. And this is the first time I've ever listened to Harry Potter on audiobook. And it's narrated by Jim Dale, and he did such a great job. I really, really enjoyed listening to it on audiobook.
Harry Potter was definitely fun to listen to, but my best audiobook experience for 2017, I went with the Live Ship Traders Trilogy by Robin Hobb. I have the 3rd book in hard copy, but I listened to all 3 on audiobook, and I just thought it was a really good experience. I had a lot of fun getting into the story and kind of imagining all the boats and pirates and live ships and all the fun stuff.
Is anything on your list not like adult fantasy? Harry Potter?
Yes, there are
I just realized
2 to 3.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Well, which is nice because I don't read a lot of adult fantasy, so it's nice to have a variety of, things. So anyways, so the next question is your most unsettling read.
So my most unsettling read, I went with The Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. And it actually wasn't a bad book. It was a good book. It was just not at all what I was expecting. Definitely a lot of, it's about a royal family, a lot of backstabbing, and keeping people locked up and stuff is...
Is it like torture?
Not necessarily, but, in a way.
Wasn't horror?
No, not horror like It or anything, but definitely wouldn't want to be the main character in this book.
So for me, I'm going with City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. This is the 4th book in the Mortal Instruments series. I actually really enjoyed this series, this book. This was one of my favorite in the series as far as like the plot. But what bothered me the most was the beginning. One of the characters, they kind of cheat on 2 other characters, and it was really outside of this particular character's trait. Like, you wouldn't consider this person to be one to cheat, and I found that really unsettling.
Okay, so for the next question, what was your favorite cast of characters from 2017?
So for this, I'm going with the characters from A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I love this book. You need to read this series. It is so good. It is adult fantasy.
Okay.
It's adult fantasy. Or it's new adult. It's not young adult.
If you haven't caught on, most of my adult fantasy books have something about dragons or Vikings or something in there.
Fairies.
It's not a dragon.
No, but it's really, really good. I love these characters and I'm so excited for the spinoff series that's happening this year. But yeah, this was definitely, I love these characters so much.
For my favorite cast of characters, I'm going with the entire cast from the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. I'm currently on book 10 and I'm just really enjoying how much effort that Robert Jordan and I think starting either the next book or the following, Brandon Sanderson jumped in and started co-writing. But I'm really enjoying how much effort and time he put into character development, not of just 1, 2, or 3 main characters, but there's 15 that are just very important to the story, and he really goes in depth and develops everybody that's a part of the story. So
that's important.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is your best thriller. Now, we're not really thriller. Like, I don't like thriller, I don't like suspense, I don't like horror, but I feel like this book can follow thriller. I think you would actually enjoy it. But I'm going with Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. This is the second book in the Diviners series, and this has like ghosts and a lot of different type of paranormal stuff happening. It did get really creepy at the end, just with like all of the ghosts and stuff. It was definitely, along the thriller suspense, it got creepy, definitely.
So kind of like Gabby was saying, we're not super thriller people, but what I went with for my thriller, and it's kind of a thriller, it would be Ender's Game. So I actually watched the movie when it came out, and this past year I decided I really wanted to read the book because I know sometimes books can be better than the movie, and in this case I agree. Ender's Game was really good. Kind of gives it a little bit of a thriller suspense aspect because you really don't know what's going on and what's going to happen, and you're really surprised at the end.
So the next question is the best relationship or friendship that you read about.
So for me, and I think Gabby will approve of this one.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say.
I had a really close call, but I went ahead and chose best friendship, and that would be Ron, Harry, and Hermione. Definitely this was I've only gotten through the first 3 books when we listened to them together, and I really enjoyed the books. They're definitely better than the movies. The movies are great, but the books are a lot of fun, and their development as they go through each year is really fun, and they're great friends. And yeah, it's fun to listen to.
So I went with Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the 3rd book in the Raven cycle, and I also went with friendship. Basically, I love Blue's friendship with all 3 boys, and then the boys' friendship together. This really is mostly a book about friendship. There's a little bit of romance intertwined in there, but it's not the bulk of it. It's really these 3 high school boys and 1 high school girl, and like there's a lot of paranormal stuff happening, and it's really their friendship together, and I really enjoyed it. And the last question is the best reread that you read in 2017.
So my best reread in 2017 was The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. Ever since I read Aragon was actually the first book that I actually listened to on audiobook at the end of high school, I believe. That's when I kind of learned about audiobooks, and ever since then I've really enjoyed listening to The Inheritance Cycle. I think I'm on my 3rd, or that was my 3rd reread of them, only one in 2017, but definitely good books. Gabby has trouble getting through Aragon, but I really enjoy it.
I think I'm on my 3rd try of I like it, but there's nothing pulling into the story. I enjoy it, but I just
Dragons, that's all I really needed.
I know, and it's your favorite series. I need to just is the audiobook good?
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try and listen to it on audiobook. And mine is, of course, Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. How many did I reread? So I reread Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone twice, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets twice, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban 3 times, and Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire once. So I actually listened to the first 4 by myself, then you and I listened to the first 3, and then I read the 3rd. So that's a lot of Harry Potter rereads in 1 year. But yeah, this is my favorite series, and we need to continue listening to the series because it only gets better. The first 3 are a lot more like I would consider more children, and then once you get into book 4, like, it gets really dark. Alright guys, well that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for filming it with me. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Going through this list for a non-booktuber such as myself was a lot of fun. It's actually encouraged me. We're going to start a Goodreads for me because I was surprised that I had read 16 books this last year. I've actually read a lot more. It was actually kind of crazy, I think.
I actually already started you a Goodreads page. I set you a goal for 25 books for 2018.
I think I beat that.
Last year?
Yeah,
oh,
I think
maybe
so.
We'll go higher.
Which is surprising
maybe
since
40?
most of them were, you know, hefty.
Yeah, maybe we'll go. Maybe we'll go 40. I gave myself 78 this year. I think that's. I think it's a little much.
Can't do that much.
I think it's a little much. Well, thanks guys for watching, and we will see you next time in another video. Bye.